all the living entities within this material world are punishable. The difference between human beings and non-human beings is that human is supposed to act according to the direction of the Vedas. It is said in the verse that uh, ahar nidra bhayamaithunam cha samanya nimitam pashubir naranam dharmo hi tesho adhiko vishesha dharme nehena pashubir saman. That if one is active only for ahar nidra bhayamaithun, so then there is no difference between animals and human beings. Both are performing these activities. Ahar nidra bhayamaithun, eating, sleeping, mating and defending. Samanyam, these are common to the human beings and the animals. What makes the human being superior is their dharma practices. And the dharma is mentioned in the Vedas. The Vedas are the words of the God. Dharmam tu sakshat bhagavad pranitam. And Veda, previous verse is there. Veda pranihito dharmo. Ya adharma tas vipadeya. It is spoken by Yamdutas in verse 40. The supreme cause of all causes, Narayan, is situated in his own abode in spiritual world, but nevertheless he controls the entire cosmic manifestation according to three modes of material nature: Sattva Guna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna. Yamdutas replied, that which is prescribed in the Vedas constitute dharma, the religious principles, and the opposite of that is irreligion. The Vedas are directly the Supreme Personality of Godhead Narayan and are self-born. This we have heard from Yamraja. Veda pranihito dharma. And yad dharma, ya adharma, tat viparye. Whatever is mentioned in the Vedas, it's dharma. And Vedo Narayana Sakshat. The Vedas are coming directly from Narayana. Sakshat Narayana means there is no difference between Vedas and Narayana. So the first duty of the human being is to understand Vedas. Otherwise, how he can become a human beings? And unfortunately, in our education system, nothing is taught from the childhood. Vedas are the manual for how to utilize this human form of life. What not to do and what to do should be based on the Vedic directions. Now people are acting whatever is suitable to their minds. They are acting. Whatever gives me mental pleasures or sensual pleasures, that is good. And collectively they decide it. This constitution of India also was made based on some intellectuals had their own impure mind and senses. Some prejudices they had. And such people have made this Constitution of India, not on the basis of the Vedas. Formerly, every king would make his constitution based on Vedic literature, which they would learn in Gurukul. Why the country is suffering? Because of such man-made laws. No one has right to make his own laws. You can have your own laws in home. In the home, you can have within the home some laws can be practiced. Like you can decide, okay, what time everybody should come for breakfast or lunch or dinner. How many times the house can be cleaned. All these things you can make in your own home. But when you are living in a building, then you cannot create own laws. Okay, all the dust collected should be thrown out of the house in the corridor. Can you make like this? You cannot. And other people will be disturbed by that. So there are building laws are made by the people who are doing that maintenance part of the building. So like that there are state laws also. One cannot manufacture state laws at home. There is a legislative assembly, they make the state laws, you cannot manufacture at home. Similarly, the laws of the material world cannot be made by these legislative assemblies of the country. They cannot decide it. Whatever the home laws should be in harmony with the building laws. Building laws should be in harmony with the community laws. The community laws should be in harmony with the state laws. Similarly, whatever law the national legislative assembly are making, that should be in harmony with the God's laws. Rather, it should be under the umbrella of the God's laws. If it is contrary to the laws of God, then the whole country will suffer. Or anybody who makes such laws will suffer. And you can see now today's world, instead of making so much of this material advancement, technology advancement, people are still suffering more. Why? Because they are making the laws of God. By performing sinful activities, two things happen. One is suffering, and another thing is one become averse to the spiritual life. More people become sinful, then they have difficulties to understand and practice spiritual path. Tesham tantagatam papam jananam tannikarmanam. Those who become free from these sins, they only can understand about the supreme law. Jananam punya karmanam. They become free from dualities and bhajante mam dudavata. They can actually worship Krishna properly. So here it is said that who are the candidates for punishment are those, everybody in this material world practically, because impious activities. Even if somebody is pious, because of his uncontrolled mind and senses, sometimes he is bound to commit sinful activities, driven by the demands of mind and senses. One cross his limit and break the laws. So as long as one has this body, it is mentioned here that Dehavan. Dehavan means one who is possessing this body. Like Balavan, possessing the strength. It is called Dehavan. Dehavan means one who possesses the body. Na ya akarmakrut. one cannot live without performing actions. I always think that they can perform, they can avoid all the actions, and there will be no reactions. Uh, but that is only for the sake of saying it. He said, Dehavan na ya karma krut. One cannot avoid the activities when you are possessing this material body. Not only possessing this material body, but soul is always active. And this material body, the soul is situated, you cannot make it inactive. Nahi karma, nahi kaschit kshanamapi jati tishtatya karma krut. Not even for a moment, one can avoid the activities. Even a person is sleeping, lazy, not doing anything. Still is breathing, he is eating also. And he is sleeping, that is also action. So that is, everything is action. So in Gita, Krishna says that nahi kaschit kshanamapi tatu tishtati karma krit. Same verse, same meaning. Deva na yak karma krit, akarma krit. Akarma means one cannot become free from the nature of being active. And when a person is active under the modes of material nature, then he is bound to commit sinful activities. The real activity of the soul is on the spiritual platform. Like a thief is also active. The criminal also is active, performing various actions. But all those actions are punishable, troublesome. Similarly, as long as one has fruity mentality and one is acting according to the nature of lower modes, especially Tamagun, Rajagun, then one is bound to commit sinful activities. And the result of that is one suffers, and one also becomes averse to the devotional service or spiritual path. More one performs simple activities. So therefore, Yamdutas are very confidently saying that therefore all the living entities within this material world are punishable. Why? Because everybody is practically engaged in fruitive activities, enjoying the results. Activities are performed with the desire to enjoy the results. And as long as such consciousness is there, one is subjected to various kinds of reactions. The fruity mentalities means one is bound in the karmic reactions, pious and impious. Karma kanda, jnana kanda keval vishera bhanda. Narottam Das Thakur said that. Karma kanda means the fruity mentality. Every action we want to perform with the desire to get some fruits to enjoy for ourselves. The spiritual path is, it's not that we don't want fruits, but we want to offer the fruits to Krishna. That is karma yoga. Karma kanda means one wants to enjoy himself fruits. That's why they worship various demigods. You will find people are very enthusiastic. In Kharagpur, you will find all these people are performing some pujas. This puja, that puja, Mata puja, Durga puja, Ganesh puja, Vishwakarma puja, Jagadatri puja, Kali puja, Durga puja, Saraswati puja. What is their mentality? Mentality is that they want to get some benefits from that puja so that they can enjoy material life. More money, more facilities for certain activities. Dhanam dehi, janam dehi, give me wealth, give me the good birth, putram dehi, want son, Rupavati Bharya dehi, I want good wife, so beautiful wife. So all this consciousness, they perform various kinds of pujas. It's karma kanda section. Various pujas in karma kanda sections. But the purpose of that puja is, worship is enjoying the results of one's whatever action one is performing. Fruity mentality. And when one has this fruity mentality, whatever actions we perform and get the fruit to enjoy, we enjoy the fruits, then what happens? The desire for enjoyment increases more. Lust increases. And because lust increases, one wants to enjoy more. Therefore, people want quick results. Why? Because they have strong desire to enjoy. They cannot have patience. And therefore, Gita Krishna says that kamastaiste rutagyana prapadyante anyadeva. Those who are lusty, various desires to enjoy, their intelligence is being stolen by the Maya. It's hijacked by the Maya. Kamastaiste rutagyana, aparutak. Apaharan, Kritagyana. They have lost their intelligence. They are just absorbed in getting the fruits of their actions so that they can enjoy. So, you find so many people. So-called spiritual leaders also are talking about it. There is no difference between Krishna Puja and Kali Puja. Jai Krishna, Sai Kali. And they become such famous in Kali Yuga. And the people make them in God. God. Such a person becomes God. A person, how can such a person become God? Who doesn't understand the difference in Kali worship and Krishna worship. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that those who don't worship him and rather worship somebody else, other Anya Devata, they have lost their intelligence. Rutagyana. Kamasthesya Rutagyana. Have material desires or lust, and because of that their intelligence has been taken away by the Maya. Like lust covers the intelligence. Avruttam jnanametena jnaninas nitya vairina. Avruttam means covers. Jnanametena. Jnanam. That covers the knowledge, real knowledge. Jnaninas nitya vairina. It is the eternal enemy of the knowledge. What is that? Kama rupena kaunteya. This is kama. Dushpurinana. Lust. Lust means desire to strong, desire to satisfy one's senses, mind and senses. And especially sex life, but all senses. Eyes, nose, ears, tongue. So this lust covers the knowledge. One cannot see the things properly. So by those who are very sinful, they cannot understand Krishna consciousness. Very difficult for them. They may be going on with great intellectuals, people studying in big institutes, India and foreign countries, technological institutions. But if they are performing sinful activities, they cannot understand simple things, spiritual path. Basic knowledge of life, you are not body, you are spirit, soul. They cannot appreciate those things. And they don't want to talk about life after death because it's fearful. No? Sinful activities, future sufferings. In the heart of heart, they know it, sufferings. They don't want to know about it. That's why they create various theories that there is no next life. As soon as we accept next life concept and law of karma, it is very horrifying for them to accept this. I have to suffer. Therefore all these theories come out. The concocted theories. So here The Yamdutas are mentioning that they have heard from the Yamraj all these things. Who is punishable? Who is not punishable? Hmm. So whatever is given in the Vedas, that is dharma. And whatever is not, that is adharma. Eter adharma vigyata. So we understand this is adharma. And that is observed by the witnesses. Srila Prabhupada is quoting from another, this is Vishnu Dharma. The shloka is Aditya, previous verse, Chandrava Anilo Annadasya. So same list is given in this Vishnu Dharma with the literature. Some little difference is there. Rudayam, Yamascha, Ahascha, Ratrischa, Ubhecha, Sandhi, Dharmopi, Jnanati, Narasya, Uttam. These are all witnesses. Sun, moon, fire. And here is mind also one's witness. As person performs sinful activities, mind, one's own mind also becomes a witness. Or the Lord is also witness, Supreme Lord. And by this, one's mind gets contaminated. So those who are very advanced, they can see the mind of a person, immediately understand what kind of person is. So now, whatever we have been doing in our previous life, based on our, we are carrying the same mind. So in this life now, we are supposed to purify all those tendencies in mind. Therefore, these samskaras, performed in Vedic literatures, they are to remove the previous samskar, bad impressions on the mind. Purify one's mind. By purification process, mind becomes like a mirror, clean mirror, where one can see oneself as a spirit soul. One can also see the Supreme Lord. In that such a clean state, it's called Brahmabhuta stage, when mind is completely purified, soul's real nature shines. What is that real nature of soul is? Brahmabhuta Prasannatma, joyful state, naturally joyful. Now at this stage we are miserable and we are trying to search happiness through this dead matter, through money, through cars, motors, all these possessions, bungalow. When mind is contaminated, it will look pleasure in this material world. Being driven by the modes of passion and ignorance, just like a person who is in lower state, it looks pleasure in the intoxications, gambling, illicit, meat eating, all these things, which are sinful activities. The unclean mind looks pleasure in such activities, while the clean mind, clean consciousness, the soul naturally rejoices. Satchidananda is nature of everyone. One doesn't have to look happiness somewhere else. You yourself are happy state of consciousness. At this stage our mind is contaminated, that's why we are looking more money, more prestige, more possessions. All these things, soul is running behind all those things. When you become spiritually awakened, you understand, I don't have to work in this material world unnecessarily. Okay, but body requirement, I have to do some job, business. But why unnecessarily competing with the karmis? You are satisfied in your life. Just like when you are had a nice feast, you are satisfied. You don't go and look for the food here and there. Similarly, by satisfied person, becoming satisfied in Krishna consciousness, Brahmabhuta stage, then You are not much interested in performing material activities naturally. Mad bhakti labate param. Then you are acting on spiritual platform only for Krishna's pleasure. From that stage, the real bhakti starts. So bhakti brings you to that stage where a person is satisfied himself by the grace of Krishna. And then he is thinking about how he can serve Krishna more and more. Mad bhakti labati. In a conditioned state, you will find people don't have time. You ask them little bit service for Krishna, no sir, no time. 24 hours, you don't get time. But in a liberated state, 24 hours one is serving Krishna. No time for Maya. Every activity is for Krishna's pleasure. So that is how beautiful Krishna consciousness is. In a conditioned state, one doesn't have no time for Krishna. And in liberated state, no time for Maya. Fully engaged, 24 hours. That is Krishna consciousness. So as long as one is not coming to this platform, Krishna consciousness, then one is bound to act by the modes of material nature. All activities produce reactions, either good or bad. Both are binding. When you get good reactions, you want to enjoy fruits. When you enjoy the fruits, and your desire to enjoy more increases. And when your pious activities are over or they are not sufficient to give you much enjoyment, then one performs sinful activities to get that enjoyment. It goes beyond the quota. That's the nature of lust, greed, envy. Once one becomes blind, what is allocated to me, one doesn't care for it. Ishavasyamadam sarvam yatkinchim jagatyam jagat. Uncontrolled mind and senses do not care for the laws of God, do not care for other people's freedom. They encroach other people's rights. So therefore people don't understand this. That unless one is endeavoring to become free from this mode of passion and ignorance, suffering will continue. When one has become free from these lower modes, then you come to the Sattva-guna. Then you can see things actually right. How these sinful activities are troublesome. No, meat eating, gambling, illicit, intoxication, any kinds of activity which are no connection to spiritual life. Everything is troublesome. That is a clear vision. Sukham and Jnanam. This is the nature of the Sattva-guna. Sattva-guna means it brings you satisfaction, Sukham. You are yourself, within your heart you are satisfied. You are not hankering here and there. Na shotidana kankshati. Kankshati means hankering. Lamentation. Sochiti. Everybody is absorbed into these two things in this body. Hankering and lamentation. Hankering for what you don't have materially. Hankering. More money, more this, more that. See other people and you are hankering. And lamentation means shochiti. Either one has a fear of losing it, and if you lose it, then one laments for it. And eventually everything is lost. Things don't remain with us, material things. Brahma Bhuta stage means no suchasana kamshiti. He has no fears, or no lamentation and no hankerings. Prasannatma. Satisfied whatever he has by the grace of God. That's why the Brahmanas means they are santushta naturally. And this ignorance people and passionate people cannot understand. Because they are intoxicated by these moods. They think this person is useless. How he can be satisfied like this? Like Alexander came to India, he saw sadhu sitting down peacefully. What is this? Inactive, not doing anything. They are active on the transcendental platform. Soul is always active. For him, to be active means run around, passion and ignorance, destroying things, killing people, getting their properties, encouraging, conquering them, getting more kingdom. So this passion and ignorance, they cannot understand the higher sense of happiness unless they come out of it. They are blinded. So therefore we should not be surprised sometimes we go for preaching and people don't listen. Sometimes we get discouraged. Of course we should think that we have to try our best. But sometimes very intellectual people who are sinful, they cannot appreciate. They will keep on arguing. They will keep on arguing and arguing. Unless they take some initiative to become free from that sinful tendencies, then they only can realize it. Krishna consciousness is very simple. The process is also very simple. Chanting holy name of the Lord and hear. Chant and hear. There is a process. But you will find, ask them to chant, they cannot chant. And because of they cannot chant, then they say, what is this chanting? Sour grapes. The fox, he was not able to eat. Then what happened? Grapes are sour. Then they will say, what is this chanting? Why should I chant? Waste my time. But they cannot chant. It is a problem. Their minds are so fickle, you are very, very sinful, very difficult to chant. They will not accept Krishna consciousness. तेषां त्वन्तगतं पापं जनानां पुण्यकर्मणां ते द्वन्द्वमोह निर्मुक्ता भजन्ते मां दृढमता. My devotees are merciful. Krishna is merciful. To give them chance, he appears with holy name. He speaks knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. He comes at Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He sends his devotees. So many things. Vedas. Right. Previously, when people would discuss anything, they would always discuss on the basis of the Vedas. Is it Veda Vakya? Is it mentioned in Vedas? There was the reference. It says, unfortunately, men manufacture their own ways of acting without reference to the Vedas. So anything we do in our lives should be reference to the Vedas, not speculative ideas. Then we are safe. Okay, any questions, comments?
Any questions from online devotees?
Yes. All the Vedas. Dharma means it is ultimate dharma is to worship the Supreme Lord only, without any material motivations. Savai pumsa para dharmo yato bhaktir adokshiti. So that is called paro dharma. Today morning only I was hearing this proper lecture. But that paro dharma means these spiritual duties as a soul. And as long as one is not having that on the spiritual platform, Vedas also talk about if they are possessing material body, what are their duties. That is called apara dharma. Apara. So, savai pumsa paro dharmo yato bhakti radokshya. Supreme dharma is to perform worship to Supreme Lord without any motivations. That is the topmost dharma. And the apara dharma means then you worship Matrudeva Bhava, Pitrudeva Bhava, or nation, all these things, or demigod worship. So these are also dharmas given in the Vedas. As long as one is not understanding higher things, gradually they are, but they are all cheating dharma in one sense, because they are on the bodily consciousness. Mm. So, but because by following the Vedas, slowly one make advancement. The come to the, if one is coming to the understanding this ultimate dharma. So the real dharma is to worship the Supreme Lord. Then what to speak of these bogus dharmas, which has no connection to the Vedas also. Any dharma which teaches us how to love God ultimately, that is the real dharma. Prabhupada was saying that it doesn't matter. Christian religion, Hindu religion, Muslim religion, whatever. It's bringing you to the loving, understanding properly God and loving God. But unfortunately, they make their own dharma, Kali Yuga. Our dharma says like this. In our dharma, we can kill animals. Simple thing. Anybody has a good sense, he can understand how the God will allow that somebody should be killed. And not punished like that. So in Vedas they allow, okay, you can kill goat by offering to the Kali. But there's for those people who do not understand the higher dharmas. For them this is allowed, sanctioned, concession given. But with concession, along with concession, punishments also are there. It's not punishment, it's not there. Less suffer, but they suffer. And then they make gradual advancement. Enjoying like this killing is more punishable. So these different kinds of dharmas are mentioned. That's why Krishna says, give up all other dharmas. Sarva dharman parityaja mam ekam sharanam. Ultimate dharma is to serve Supreme Lord, surrender to Him, follow His directions. So as long as one is not on transcendental platform, there are duties given in the Vedas. If somebody is Brahmana, Kshatriya, that is also called sometimes occupational duties. If you say, if one is having the bodily identification, according to that duties are mentioned. Brahman dharma, Kshatriya dharma, Vaishya dharma, Shuddha dharma. They are all duties. They are called swadharmas, according to one's nature. So that slowly bring them to the higher platform, gradually. But then they have to also follow along with that the direction in the Vedas, and you find the even all the yagyas and everything, there is some mention of the names of Krishna will be there. Hari Om, like that. Om, while performing Indraya Swaha, Indraya Idam Namama. That you perform the sacrifice for Indra also, but the name of Krishna is chanted. By such gradual purification, one comes to the understanding that our Supreme Lord is the highest, and I have to worship Him. Like that. It is highest dharma. She mentions the Supreme Lord is cause of all causes. Narayan is situated in his own abode in the spiritual world, but nevertheless he controls the entire cosmic manifestation according to three modes of material nature: Sattva-guna, Rajaguna, Tamaguna. In this way, all the divinities are awarded different qualities, different names, such as Brahmana, Surya, Vaishyas, different duties according to Varnashram institution and different forms. Thus, Narayan is the cause of entire cause. The next verse of that is saying this. ये स्वधाम्य धाम्यन्मी भावा रजस्तत्व तमोमया गुणनाम क्रिया रूपेर विभावन्ति यथा तथम. So he decides this duties of different men. So that's what dharmas, occupational duties. But occupational duties should be performed for what? Occupational duties should be performed for purification, not for getting just material gain. Dharmasya hi apavargasya nartho arthaya upakalpate. धर्मस्य अर्थ नार्थस्य धर्मैकान्तस्य लाभो जीवेत कामो लाभा ही स्मृता. धर्मस्य ही अपवर्गस्य. Dharma should be practiced to go to the upper world, get liberation, moksha. Dharma artha kama moksha. Dharmasya hi apavargasya. But dharma people practice only get money nowadays. Actually, this money and everything is already ordained by one's birth. One doesn't have to work for money. You perform your duties and whatever is your quota, you will be given it. Just like in your bank, some money is there. You go and do some process of filling up some check or like that. You will get your money. You have to do that work. Alright? You have to go to the account, this cashier, fill up the form, and nowadays by using ATM or whatever is that. Some process has to be performed. So these occupational duties are like that. You perform some process by which you will get what you are destined. But that is not the sole purpose of the occupational duty. Purpose of occupational duty is to get purified. Purification. Perform your duties for purification. And the gain will come by the grace of God. Dharma, artha will come. So dharma should not be performed for artha. It should be performed for apavarga, to get liberation from this material world. Dharmasya hi apavargasya nartho arthaya upakalpate. Not for getting material gain. And then narthasya dharmaikantasya. That this material gain should not be utilized for sense gratification. Again, same thing. Material gain should be utilized for maintenance of your body and to keep your body healthy. Some sense gratification is required for that. Not competition like materialistic people are doing. Just to maintain body and soul together. By this one can actually access the higher realm of happiness. Otherwise one is just living like animals. Cannot understand really what is the higher sense of happiness. Kamasya na indriya prithir labho jiveta yavata. The desires, life's desires should not be directed towards sense gratification. Kamasya na indriya prithir labho jiveta yavata. One can have a healthy life. Some sense gratification is required just to maintain body and soul together. If you do too much sense gratification, one becomes unhealthy, both physically also and spiritually also, mentally also. Mentally, greed will increase more. By engaging into lusty activities, one's lust will increase and greed also will increase. And if lust is not satisfied, then anger comes out. So, according to the Vedas, what you are supposed to enjoy in this material body also is ordained. So accordingly, one should accept those things. the kamasya nahi indriyati. Life's desire should not be directed for having more sense gratification. Labho jivete yava. But one can aspire to have healthy life. Uh, what is next line? Jivasya tattva jigyasa. And the human life is not given for tattva jigyasa, inquiring about the higher subject matter. Tattva jigyasa. What is the truth about life? So when you keep your life simple like this, then your energy is free to discuss, talk about higher subject matters. Otherwise, it's fully occupied only material things. They don't have time. Greed and lust and envy, they are occupied, all anxieties. When you live like this life, kamasya niripiti labho jivete yava, jivasya tattva jigyasa, then your life, you will start thinking about higher subject matters. Otherwise, where is time? Dissatisfied mind, greedy, envy, lusty, they don't have time. They are busy in so many things. Jivasya tattva jigyasa, nartho yaschehi karme. Huh? There should not be other purpose of life. Like that. So second chapter of Bhagavatam describes a lot about this dharma. What is dharma, what is not adharma, what is swadharma, what is paradharma, what is aparadharma. Okay. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam.